Welcome to our first podcast. I've just completed a Jim Kibler Woodsrunner Long Rifle Kit. What we're going to talk about today is my first impressions of the rifle and the kit and what you can expect out of it if you decide to go that route. If you're sitting on the fence, this is the video that you might want to watch. If you have friends or relatives that you would like to get involved in muzzle loading and get their hands on a quality long rifle, then this is a video that they might want to watch. If you have a factory gun that wasn't made in this country and you're not happy with it, maybe you don't like the looks, maybe you don't like the performance, and you're thinking about getting into a more authentic, more reliable, quality long rifle, this video is something that you're going to want to watch. If you have an inline muzzleloader and you've experienced a bump in testosterone and you want to get your hands on a real rifle, this is a video that you might want to watch. Maybe you're just drawn to muzzle loading and you don't really know why, but there's just something about the mystique of the rifle, the history, the romance. But you've watched these YouTube channels where guys their guns have misfired 2 and 3 times in a row, and deer have walked off, and they'll say, well, it's the gun's fault. That's just the way these guns work. That's not the case, and we're going to prove it. So this is a video that you might want to watch. So with that in mind, let's get started. My name is Patrick Cameron. I've been involved with black powder muzzleloaders since about 1980. That's well over 44 years. Over that period of time, I've owned 9 different guns. 3 were factory, 6 were custom long rifles, 10 counting the Woodsrunner. I guess these numbers have a way of creeping up. I whittled it down to 3, and the Woodsrunner will make 4. I pretty much hunt exclusively with flintlock guns for the last 12 or 14 years. I think I'm up around 18 white-tailed deer. I'm well over 20 turkeys and a bushel basket full of small game. I think I can safely say that I've carried one of these rifles well over 1,000 miles in the woods. I've published 9 magazine articles on hunting with flintlock guns, 3 in Muzzle Loader magazine, and 6 in Muzzle Blast magazine. I don't consider myself to be an expert, but I think I've got enough miles under my belt that I can offer a qualified opinion on what you're going to get if you decide to go with a Kibler long rifle gun. Here's the finished kit. What we're going to do is start off by looking at the business end of a 54 caliber muzzleloader. Brass nose cap. Plain maple stock with a brown barrel. Nice satin finish on the lock. We're going to leave it bare. It'll develop its own gray patina after a while. Brass fittings. Here is the sliding patch box. Now when you put it on, you want it to go nice and easy. Then just as it gets close, you want it to get a little bit snug, and then this is what you want to hear. Do that one more time. Slide that on. Listen. That is nice. That is a perfect fit. It's nice and snug and tight. Goes on easy, locks crisply, with a nice fit. So what Jim has basically done is he's taken his engineering degree, his passion for flintlock rifles, state-of-the-art technology, and manufactured a 250-year-old rifle. and he's done a perfect job. I don't think it could have come out any better. Everything fits nice. 39 3/4 inch barrel, 7.5 pounds. My custom guns all have 38-inch barrels. And when people see them, they go, oh my goodness, that's such a long barrel. Well, 38 inches is actually on the short side for a flintlock. But then I give them the rifle and they pick it up and they go, oh my goodness, is that ever light? And that's exactly what you're going to say when you pick up a Kibler Woodsrunner long rifle. You're going to hold it up and you go, oh my goodness, is that ever light? It fits so nice. And that's just the way it is. Is it as good as the original? Probably better. The inletting is crisp and clean and sharp. The material today are better than the materials that they had as far as metal in the barrel. The lock spring on this thing is strong. It is really strong. What that does for you, it gives you a fast lock. And when that flint hits the prison, it gives you positive ignition and lots of it. Lots of sparks. And these guns, the videos that I've seen, I haven't had a chance to fire this gun yet, but it does spark really good. The videos that I've seen, ignition is almost instant. It is so close to a centerfire rifle sometimes. And that all depends on how you take care of your gun and how you load it. And we're going to do a video in the future on exactly how you can do that. Not so that your gun goes off almost all the time. It'll be so that your gun does go off all the time, every time, without exception. That can happen. And the funny thing is, it is dead simple. People just keep trying to overcomplicate it, but we're going to show you how to do it properly. Getting back to the kit here, some of the things that I did when I finished the kit, when I first took it out of the box, I looked at the muzzle cap, at the wood, and I thought, oh my goodness, that looks so fragile, because there's not a lot of wood there. And so right away I put the muzzle cap on to protect it. And when I did that, I put the screws in, and they are a hair shy of tight. Now there's tight, there's extra tight, there's snug, there's really snug. The screws are somewhere between really snug and tight. They're just not a whole bunch of wood. You don't want to go torquing on them screws. And once it was on, I just left it there. And to the whole process, and after I was finished with the final coat of oil on the gun, I just went back and rebuffed it with 4/0 steel wool. Let's talk about a few other things that I did that I found helped me out a lot when I finished the kit. We'll start off with the butt plate. The butt plate is going to take what they call elbow grease. The machine marks aren't real heavy. You can start off with a file to get rid of the deepest one, which is really not that much, and then work your way down to 400 grit paper, and then down to some emery cloth, and then down to some 4/0 steel wool. The butt plate stayed on the gun the whole time I did that. And after what I did was when I finished doing the staining and the oil finish, I did tarnish it up just a little bit. That's when I took it off and I gave it a really good buff with the 4/0 steel wool. And when I did that, I signed and dated the stock underneath the wood plate, and I put it back on. So when your great grandchildren think, oh, I really want to clean this gun up, and they take the butt plate off, they're going to get a nice little surprise. They're going to see your signature there, and when you dated it, they're going to say, wow, Grandpa really did do this gun. So that's just one thing I did. After I stained it, I put a coat of the Jim Chambers oil finish on it, and it's wintertime here, so we have a wood stove going. It's just kind of a hobby we have. And so I set it by the wood stove overnight, and that gave it a really nice, warm, dry finish on it. When I would pick the stock up the next morning, it actually felt a little bit warm. And so then I would just give it just the lightest buff with the 4X steel wool, and I mean light. And I gave it another coat, did put it by the wood stove again. I did that 4 times, and I'm really pleased. And if you have a good heat source to rest your stock between coats, that's something I highly recommend because it turned out really good for me. The gun looks amazing. I'm really pleased with the way it all came out. Start to finish, from the time I took the cover off the box until the time I just held it after the last coat of oil dried, I probably have, I think, about 20 hours worth of time invested in it. Now there was lots and lots of time where oil was drying or the browning solution was drying and I was doing something else. That doesn't count. But I have actually about 20 hours worth of work, and it's not that much. The secret to doing this and having a successful project is patience. Enjoy the process. It's not a race. Identify one specific task you want to do today. Like, let's say I want to finish the outside of the barrel. And I did that, and if that took me an hour, then an hour and a half, then that was it for the day. I put it away, and then the next day I would brown it and maybe work on some other aspect. If you break it up into little pieces, little bites, eventually one day you're going to hold up a gun and you're going to go, wow, am I ever happy with that? There we go, a completed kit. I think if you decide to follow up on it and do one yourself, I think you're really going to enjoy it. For people that are sitting on the fence trying to decide whether or not they want to invest over $1,000 in a box full of parts, I want to go over a few things and maybe alleviate some of those concerns. First, let's look at what you're getting for your money. If you're seriously interested in going this route, I suggest going onto a website forum called American Long Rifles and do a search for Woodsrunner. There you'll get a topic brought up that will show several very detailed photographs of the original gun. And you can go through them all, and going from the muzzle cap, you're going to go, that looks exactly the same. The thimbles for the ramrod, they're exactly the same. The entry pipe where it goes into the stock, it's exactly the same. The lock looks the same. The wooden patch box looks the same. The butt plate looks the same. You would swear that the parts from Jim's kit would be interchangeable with the original. The cheek piece looks the same. What are the differences? I believe the original had a barrel length of somewhere around 44 inches. The original had a little bit of carving behind the tang on the barrel. The original had just a little bit of incise carving down around the buttstock. Other than that, you'd swear they came out of the same shop. So as far as original authenticity goes, I don't think there's anything on the market that can come close at that price point. So let's say you've owned the rifle for 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and you decide, this really isn't for me, I'm going to take up bass fishing. I don't think you're going to lose a nickel. I think you'll get your initial investment back and probably more. If you buy a set of golf clubs and you play one round of golf, you're looking at 50%. If you buy an inline gun and take it to the range and sight it in, 30%. It's like driving a new car off the lot. As soon as it hits the pavement, you're toast. I bought and sold a few custom guns and even modern rifles that are pretty high quality, I've never lost a nickel. You could buy this, shoot it for 5 years, and make money. You're not going to make a lot of money, but you might make $100, $200. The thing is, you're not going to lose any money. You're going to lose your man hours that it took to finish the gun. And that's about it. So if you have some concerns about whether or not you're going to like it down the road, I think that's the big thing, you know. Am I going to like it? Am I going to like it? Well, there really is no risk. Try it. If you don't like it, somebody gets a great deal on a gun and you get your money back. If this is the route you're thinking about going, I think you'll be happy. We're going to try and wrap this up here. As you can tell from the video, I'm pretty impressed with what Jim's accomplished. I have one suggestion for Jim. Now, I know he only gets about 100 suggestions a day, and he can file this with the rest of them. I think there's enough meat in this barrel for a 58 caliber smoothbore. Now, if I really want one, and I might just may do this, have it the 54 bored out to 58 smooth. I had a 54 smoothbore, and with that gun, I took a really nice buck at 60 yards. I've taken turkey with it, I've taken squirrels with it. So the 50, and I wrote a magazine article on it. So the 54 smoothbore did it all, but I thought it was a little bit shy with shot volume and range for wild turkeys. I think that 58 would just be the perfect one and done gun for the guy who wants one rifle and he wants to take it in the woods every chance he gets, and he wants to hunt squirrels and turkeys and deer and maybe go on that once in a lifetime black bear hunt, and he could do it all with the one rifle. So think about that, Jim. I think it's a good idea. The other thing is the like and subscribe issue, guys. People spend hours putting this stuff together. I might have more hours in this video than I do in the rifle. So people, whether they're trying to share information or share their weekend adventure with you, and they spend hours of their personal time trying to put something out there for you to enjoy, and all they ask is that you take a couple of seconds to press the like button. And if you like the content, press the subscribe button. It's not that complicated. One of the things I'd like to do on this video and my future videos is get some of the bushcraft guys, the guys that are really good, get them looking at flintlock guns. You know, I have an ulterior motive, because if they do, then we all get to watch more good quality flintlock videos. And one of my favorite channels, somebody I've just started watching recently, is Woodsbound Outdoors. I'm going to try and hook up a link in the description to what might be my favorite video that he's done, but he's done quite a few. And if for some reason that doesn't work, in the YouTube search engine, look up venison campfire, and his video will come up. I can't think of a better video than somebody shooting a deer with a flintlock gun and making a campfire and cooking some tenderloin or some venison heart with a strong cup of coffee. I can watch videos like that all day. I'm sure you could too. For the Canadian viewers, I'm going to have another separate video that will tell you what's involved with ordering a flintlock out of the United States, whether it's one of Jim's rifles or somebody else's kit or a custom rifle or maybe a completed gun, a Track of the Wolf or somebody else. We're going to go over what you can expect and maybe a few other things that'll make flintlock more possible in your life and something that's going to help you a lot. Just looking over my notes here, I think that pretty much covers it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.